So this is our database. We called it Captain's Log. It basically helps you keep a log of any games that you have in the backlog that you have either played, not played, currently playing, etc. So these are our tables. We have our user table, um, which is this one right here. I already executed this command. So these are all the users in the database. We were able to collect some data from peers. Um, so here we just filled that data in for the users. Um, Similarly, we can show the uh, other tables in our database. Uh, so all of our entities in the database we have are the user, and we have the games, which is the just some of the sample games that the people gave to us. So this is the game table. Next is the uh, game platform table. So this is the game of the ID, or the ID of the game, and the ID of the platform. Next is the genre table. So we have 10 different genres. So normally a game will fall into one of these 10. For the simplicity of the project, some games, since they can fall into multiple genres. For the simplicity of the project, we just set them to one genre, but it could be easily expanded into allowing a game to have multiple genres. Next is our platform table. So these are the platforms that games are played on. So you can play them on the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch are the platforms that we have. And then the last one is going to be the play record table. This is the table that shows if a user has played a certain game, their progress, and any notes that they may have. So if they were to leave the game for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever amount of time, the database can store just some notes for them so that they can be reminded of the last thing that they were doing or the last thing they were working on. Okay, so those are our tables. Then next thing, I will show you some of the use cases. So starting with users, these are the different use cases that we have. So you can add a new user, change a user's name, change their email address, change the physical address, and then delete a user from the database. So right now we have a total of 13 users. So I'm going to go ahead and run this query and add one more user, and then display the table again. So as you can see, we were able to add in a John Doe, just as an example, for a new user. So that is our user use cases. Next is going to be very similar with the games. So a game, you can obviously add as many games as you want. Right now, we just have 10. That's the amount of people that we interviewed to get our data. They gave us a total of 10 different games. So similarly, we can add a game, change a game's name, change the genre of a game, and then also remove a game from the database. And so this would be, so we added a new game. Obviously, if we want to change the game's name to new game name, we can run this and it'll show up as the new name. And then for our next use cases, this is our play record use case. So again, I'll show the play record table. So if we have a user that's is starting to play a new game, or they want to add a play record for another game that they have been playing, we have very similar queries for as before. So adding a new play record, editing the amount of hours a user has played in that certain game, editing their progress, editing their notes, and then finally removing it from the table. So again, we'll just add a new play record to our table. So we'll have, you see it's going to be at the top, the new one. And let's say we also want to change the user wants to change the amount of hours. Right now it's set to 5,000, but let's say the user played the game a little bit more, and now they have 600,000 hours. So they want to update that as an example. And similarly, we can delete that play record from the table if we decide that we don't want that play record in there. So as you can see now, it is gone. Next is our join query. So right now, our play record, as you can see the table, it may be a little bit confusing to know who is the one playing a certain game. So our join query enables us to get the same play record table, but instead have the user's name instead of their ID show up, so we know who is the one. For example, Giovanni, he was playing this game for 6 hours, and this is their progress. So now we can just make it easier to associate a game with a user by seeing their name. So that concludes our project presentation.